Fantastic. Super, super stuff. Great. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Week 8. Here we are. And, as always, I love talking business. I love talking nutrition. I really feel that they go hand in hand. And over the last 8 weeks, we've had some super topics so far, from meal planning, sales, time management, vision boards, goal setting, the money mindset, how to build dynamism to gain resilience. And then, of course, this week is all around cleansing and detoxing, which I thought was good because we've had a couple of really fantastic weeks of sunshine. Everyone wants to get into those summer clothes and the bikini and shorts and down the beach. And so I just thought that this was a really good week to put this in. I know the next week's weather isn't going to be as great, but I'm sure it's all going to come back. So we'll just be able to get ourselves sort of up and running properly, which is good. I'm just going to admit another one there, which is wonderful. So what we're going to talk about this week is a detoxing environment, detoxing your body. We're also going to talk about juicing and some recommended products, and then we're going to have a little Q&A at the end as well. But first of all, I want to really start with, why do we need to detox? And I have a love-hate relationship with the word detox because it can sound like we need to detox our bodies. But actually, I prefer using the word to cleanse. And I think that's a little bit more kind of gentler. And a heavy detox to me is something that I put someone through if I know that they've really abused their bodies in a particular way. But what I do feel is that everyone does need to cleanse their body at least once a month. A bit like how we cleanse our teeth, or a bit like how we go to the dentist to chip off all of the plaque buildup that we have. That same plaque buildup is an acid ash residue. And that acid ash residue is not only on our teeth, but it's on our arteries and it's on our colon. So it's really important that we have different ways to chip that off and cleanse it off in a natural way. And do you know what? Human beings are just highly skilled at creating toxins. We have them around us all the time. They pump in from the air from our cars, from even crops miles away that are sprayed. And do you know what? I was walking down the beach, and we have little areas on the beach. And actually, the areas that have plants, they were spraying with chemicals the other day, and I didn't even know that they did that. So, we are constantly bombarded with this kind of spraying of chemicals in our air and air environment. But also it's in the food that we eat. We know that. Anything from chemicals, which are there to make the foods last longer, artificial colors, ingredients, everything. So what happens when the body is fairly toxic is we tend to have symptoms. And what happens is we tend to ignore the symptoms. And we start thinking that these are normal when they're not. And these symptoms can be anything from fatigue to headaches to skin problems to actually even weight gain. And this long-term exposure without cleansing or without detoxing can actually build up and cause some of the diseases of civilization. So our body isn't so clever at neutralizing a lot of the toxins. And so what happens is we use our fat cells efficiently to hold the toxins in. And for some people who have issues with weight loss, so if we're thinking of a cell here, they lose weight a little bit, and then the cells shrink, and the fat cells and everything, and we eliminate them from the body. But what happens is if we have toxic cells, they will only shrink so far before we actually have to cleanse those cells to actually get rid of them out of our body as well. So we want to go with those natural processes as much as we can. And I think that we tend to miss that, or we tend to have sort of misinformation around what is going to cleanse the body properly. And some of the things that I see are really, really quite drastic as well. So I kind of want to give you a few common sense tips here of how we can actually help with that. And these little common sense detox tips are just the start, because we've got lots of tips throughout as well. But here's some good ones. So we want to steer clear of chemicals in any form whatsoever. And that means either choosing organic or low chemical food wherever your budget allows. And my rule of thumb here is if you're going to eat the skin, okay, because as you know, if it's a chemical-based product, it's going to concentrate around the skin. But just like your own skin, right, fruit and vegetables, that skin is permeable. So the chemicals will go down as it does go into our own bloodstream, right? So skin is not a barrier, it's a carrier. So if you're going to be eating certain types of food that has the skin on, potatoes, apples, all those kinds of things, then definitely choose organic and wash as much as the pesticide off as possible. But if you're going to eat lots of that kind of food, so if it's a type of food that you eat often, then take a look at having organic and then non-organic for the things that aren't as often. And what I find with organic or low chemical foods is that a lot of dry stores you can choose to be organic because they tend to be very similar in price anyway. Where the price difference is on all the fresh vegetables. So take a look at that, because there are some low chemical or even the ugly fruit, right? You'll know definitely that those are low chemical. The more pristine the fruit actually is, the more chemical you can have on it. So even if you take an apple or a pear, did you know that they're not only sprayed once? They're sprayed up to 16 times to keep all the bugs away. So, take a look at some farm fresh deliveries if you can. There's Riverford, there's Abel and Cole, and I'm sure there's one in your area. Markets, farmers markets are starting back now as well, and see if you can choose organic from there, just to keep that pesticide residue down. It's not the once or twice that you have chemicals in your food. It's the years of the cumulative effect that it actually has on the body. And we constantly want to be paying it forward with our own health and wellness. So it really is imperative now to pay it forward for the future, especially if you're not going to be detoxing in between. Okay, so if you're, this is why I think it's really important either to do a 1 week detox once a month or even a weekend one. Other ways that you can help yourself is grow your own. I have windowsill herbs. I have herbs all on my balcony now. I have herbs on the fire escape. You name it. I'm like herb queen here, and those are wonderful. So I've grown those from seed, really inexpensive because I use a lot of them. I also grow my own sprouts. So I do my own sprouted seeds. That saves lots of money, as well as, they're fresh and chemical free all the time. Cherry tomatoes are another one that you can have as well. Anything that can really help the kind of grow your own and something that you have time for. Cutting out all artificial additives and sweeteners. We almost need like a GCSE and label reading, don't we? So make sure that you read all the ingredients and get to know what the ingredients are, because a lot of the E numbers now are associated with not only chemicals, but they can be natural as well. Like vitamin C has its own E number and things. So just get to know those a little bit more. Choosing non-toxic household cleaners and personal care products. So, we have a pretty good rule in the house here, which is wonderful because people also know if they're going to buy us personal care products as presents, then they're not going to buy us any chemical ones either. So it's always really good. I'd rather have good stuff than a bunch of stuff that's bad for us. So I use the Ecova range. I also use Method, which you can buy just at any supermarkets, but I also can make my own. One of the books that I love is, or that I'm always taking a look at, is How to Make Your Own Cleaners. And actually, it's really, really super simple. I have a lot of essential oils here that I use, that I just make up my own cleaners at home, and they're super, super effective. Essential oils for making your own cleaners are really, really great. I do have a bottle of bleach in the house. That's the only toxic cleaner that I have, because every once in a while you do need to bleach something out. So that's it, but it doesn't get used very often. And if I do use it, I use gloves and I use a mask. So I'm not breathing in those toxic chemicals. And I tell you what, when you don't use those chemicals regularly in your home, you really notice them, really, really notice them. So again, you want to take a look at that. Oh, I've just noticed a spelling mistake. Grow. It's grow your own fresh air with houseplants. In my office here, I have over 10 different types of houseplants. So you want to take a look at how you can grow your own fresh air with houseplants. Things like peace lilies and spider plants. Those are amazing. Again, you can search the internet for different types of plants that remove chemicals in the air and give you that kind of fresh air bit as well. So those are just some super tips for you to take a look at how you can start detoxing your environment. So for those of you who have a new home office, I really, since you're going to be spending lots of time in there, make it a sanctuary. My office is my sanctuary. I'm here I spend more time in my office than I spend in any other room of the house. So it really is important that it is an environment that breeds success. And that's what I want for you. We're breeding success. We're breeding long-term wellness. And you guys need to reflect that in every single thing that you do. Okay? So let's take a look at detoxing your home and cleansing your external environment first. So we need to start on the outside before we can work inside the body. And so I love kind of helping out with different areas of the home. So let's start with reorganizing. Has anyone here ever watched The Home Edit? Oh my goodness, The Home Edit I absolutely love. So if you want to get inspired by The Home Edit, that really looks at cleansing and clearing and organizing, and I really do love that. So we want to start by tidying. We want to start by decluttering, and then we want to start by re-cleaning with a non-toxic cleaner and freshening up that area. It doesn't matter whether you have a large home or a small home, but the whole, start with one area and move straight through the house. One thing that I did while I had my week off a couple of weeks ago, because I know a couple of you are in summer holidays as well, or having some time off, is really make sure that that office is organized and clean. So when you start back, you feel really refreshed. And so I went through, every single corner of the office and just did just that, decluttered, tidied, cleaned, freshened it all up, and made sure that the plants were looking fantastic. So I think that that's a really great place to start. So really, it's room by room. Tackle an organization, each room separately, rather than feeling you need to do the whole house at once. I mean, you could take 1 year to do this. If you have 12 rooms, put in your diary, right? Remember, everyone who watched the time management one, put in your diary 1 room each month is part of your goal to absolutely revamp. Anything that is in manageable chunks, and keep it simple, because when you start a project and you complete a project, you know how motivating that is. I love my tick lists, and when you can see 1 room done, you're going to know you're going to cleanse through the whole house quickly. So from your home office, you want to start there, and then maybe move into an area that helps everything run smoothly. And for me, that's the kitchen. I keep the kitchen cupboards and the kitchen fridge really super organized. Oh, obviously throwing away things past their sell by date, and I donate anything that I'm not going to use, or maybe that was given to me as a present that I'm not going to use. Oh, do you know what? I feel really, really bad. Tell you this little quick story. So recently we had friends send us a wonderful Fortnum and Mason hamper. Now, you would think that that is absolutely beautiful, and I was so grateful for the hamper, but I love the hamper itself. They could have sent the hamper and not anything in it. Everything was kind of junk food, and it was, and I know people mean well, and I don't mean to be ungrateful for that at all, but we couldn't eat half of it. We really, really couldn't. And so I have repurposed and donated it. And actually, my chiropractor sends a lot of things to the food bank. And so I just took most of it down to the chiropractor, and it's gone to the food bank. And I feel really, really good about that. So, you know, someone's going to be very lucky with a really nice Fortnum and Mason cookie biscuit and cookie jars. But if that's what they want, and that helps them, then I feel good about that as well. And just kind of passes it on. But you know why I'm saying this is go through everything, because if you can use your local food bank, then fantastic. You don't need to throw it away. Someone else will be really, really thankful for that, and they do need it. But my kind of idea with everything in the kitchen is that everything has a home in the kitchen, and everything has a place. So the most frequently used things are put in an easily accessible area for everybody. And I'm just reorganizing that now because Hannah is coming home from uni soon, and I know she's going to dump a whole bunch of things to me that is going to need a whole new home. So the next is the bathroom. Well, we are just going through a bathroom reno at the moment. So our porta toilet arrived today. So for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be on a porta toilet. So that should be interesting. But what it's done is it meant that I had to clear everything out. So they are completely, it's not this is a refurb, not a just a tile job. So they pulled everything out, new ceiling, new everything. And it's great because I'm starting fresh. I have bought new non-toxic shower gel, shampoo, conditioner, all ready to go. And toothpaste, you name it. I've bought absolutely everything ready to go. And I have made a pact with the family. So even shaving gel for my husband, he has to find a non-toxic version that he likes. Nothing toxic is going to go into our new spa bathroom. That's what I want you to do. I found medicines in the medicine cabinet that we haven't used for years, but I had them in there just in case, and they'd gone out of date. Gone, and not replaced them. And only just replaced a few things. And again, I've replaced them with my medicine cabinet of essential oils. So you want to really implement a system of storage solutions, and that kind of gets everything out of the way as well. And we've really had a relook at that also. Our next area is bedrooms. Well, obviously the kids have their own bedroom that they can sort out, and if they want a little bit of help, then that's fine. But what I think really works well for them is to actually take everything out of their wardrobe and then put it back in. And I really like the Marie Kondo method. And I don't know if you know Marie Kondo, but she is a Japanese feng shui declutter expert, and she's got some great stuff on Netflix. Again, you can also take a look at the Home Edit on Netflix to get some ideas around this. But she pulls everything out of the cupboard, and basically what you actually do is you hold the item to you, and whether this item gives you joy, then it goes back in the cupboard. And then if you watch the Home Edit, you'll know how to put it back in the cupboard, organizing it and folding it different way. And oh my goodness, so on Instagram, you need to follow the folding lady. The folding lady has changed my life. She folds things like in ways that I never knew you could fold stuff. And it's mesmerizing. So you'll want to watch the folding lady. And it's just how everything kind of fits. in little compartments, and you can fit so much more in there without it being all cluttered up, and you can actually use stuff. So I followed the Marie Kondo method of whether an outfit gives me joy. And if it doesn't give me joy anymore, then it goes into a pile. And then either that pile gets sold, I use a Vinted app to sell some stuff, or I send it down to the charity shop. But recently I just gave a whole bag of clothes to a friend who is in a little bit of an unfortunate position, and she's starting back at work and doesn't have a lot of money, and I know that there's some great clothes in there, and I just gave her the whole bag, and I said, what you don't want in here, take what you want, what you don't want, drop at the charity shop. So again, those kinds of passing it around to those in need always sits really, really well with me. And that can be the same with old toys and everything that you have there. So let's take a look at the living room, because for me, a living room is where you relax. And it's where you want to be with your friends, be with your family, feel really super relaxed and calm. And so that area is super important for me. So you really want to have that decluttered so nothing is in the way when you sit on that sofa at the end of the night to watch TV or cuddle with your loved ones, or just spend some time on your lonesome and watch some, your favorite TV program. You don't want to be looking at stuff that clicks your mind into gear. So make sure that you have great storage solutions in that area as well. And, for me, one of the most beautiful things I love in my living room are flowers. And although I do have other plants in there, I've got plants in every room to help cleanse as well. I've got a money plant in there, which I love. And peace lilies and other types of lilies as well. But I always have fresh flowers. And at the moment it's peonies, because peonies are my favorite flowers and they're also in season. But I also have lilies in there as well. So we've got two sets because they're looking amazing. So make that environment inviting and beautiful for yourself as well. So the biggest area, and we did talk about detoxing your workspace and your office a little bit, but this is massive, and I want you to do that, because if your space is super creative and you feel good in your office, guess what? You're going to work amazingly, amazingly well. So, I really want you to take a look at it. So I want you to spend time online and offline here of your office space. So we have here documents, supplies, emails, even where your mobile phone charger is. I have two chargers. I've got one here, which is on my computer, and then I have another one somewhere else, because there's two different ways. When I'm doing my deep work, my phone is over and the charger behind me, so I don't touch it. Otherwise, I keep it charged because I'm on my phone often, which is plugged into my computer to make sure the battery is always there and always going. So make sure it's there. But I've got some 8 great tips that I want to talk to you about. And first of all is just number 1, purge. Yes, purge your workspace. Get rid of everything that is unnecessary or not valuable for that office space or that you're using right away. So go through, stacks of papers. If you've got duplicates, get rid of them. Shred them, get rid of them. Clean out your desk drawers and your filing cabinets. Throw them away, recycle, and anything you haven't used in 6 months. Because if you haven't used it in 6 months, it's clutter, and actually you're probably not going to use it. And if you're not going to use it now, then file it in a way that you can easily get to it or get rid of it, because you're probably going to be able to find that information again somewhere else. And the more organized you are, the better in this area, because you will work definitely more efficiently, okay? Second, number 2 is rearranging your office. So you want to reevaluate where your equipment actually is and where you are. Because Nikki just put a new bookcase in hers, and it looks fantastic. And things like that make such a difference. So you want to make sure that everything is accessible, of where your desktop is, and going from there. And that's also in your office, but online. So for me, on my home screen, I don't have any files on my home screen. They are all organized behind in Dropbox folders and Google files of folders. So when I'm going to specific things, I'm not like bombarded by everything on my home screen. Where is that? And that organizing your desktop is my number 3. And it just makes your digital world so much easier. And even certain things, which I'm gonna grab it. Dun, dun, dun. So I have, this is crazy, but I even have pens and markers all organized in different ways as well. Again, it's all for me about ease of grabbing stuff right on my desk. So I can reach just like this and boom, I've got my tick list of my daily activities. You know, everything is at my fingertips in that space that I have, or online. And that makes a massive difference to the speed that I work, because I'm not constantly looking for stuff. And that's really where you need to be. Number 4 is developing a filing system. Look, there's no right or wrong way of doing a filing system. You have to find a filing system that works for you. You know, whether that's using Dropbox, Google Files, whatever, however you organize them, just make sure they're organized in those areas, and then your brain can go straight to the information that you need, and just make it as easy as possible that matches your work style. You know, and I'm always finding ways of how I can work as well. And so for me, time management is my number 5, as you know. So it's where it's at. You know, Dawn and I were talking about it afterwards, because we don't want to get our day hijacked. We want to make sure we are as efficient as possible to achieve all of our goals and to not go into that overwhelm. It's when we go into overwhelm that we become inefficient. So we want to avoid that in the first place. So again, I clear 1 hour in my diary at the beginning of each week to get myself flippin' organized with all of my marker pens, putting all of my highlights throughout the day, so I know where I'm at. And then for just 15 minutes every morning, I review that. And then if I have to fit anyone else in, you know, like today, I had a phone call. It's one of those frantic ones, you know, one of my cancer patients, given a year to live, you know, diagnosed pancreatic cancer. Of course, I'm going to fit that in today, because, you know, that's urgent for them. So, but my timing is, I know exactly where to fit them in that suits for everybody. So use your time management as efficiently as possible, because this detoxes your office space. It detoxes your brain because it clears the space. This is all about clearing, and clearing proper spaces in our mind, in our body, in our environment, that helps us communicate better and to give us the time available and the space available to create great things. And my number 6 office detox tip is to communicate on a schedule. And that means making that schedule every single day, whether it's that tick list for yourself that you are following, and having the integrity with those. If you say you're going to email someone at a certain time, then do it. Okay, communicate on that schedule. I guess for me, success means doing what I said I'm going to do when I said I was going to do it. That is success. Okay, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for progress in everything that I do. But for me, integrity is massive. And if you have integrity in your workspace, integrity in your diary, integrity in your tick list for taking care of your self-help and self-care, then you will achieve masses. It is about that integrity. Do what you say you're going to do when you said you were going to do it, and you're going to feel fantastic. And you know what? You're going to reach your goals. And if you can't do that, then you need to be realistic around how much you are jamming into your day. And if you can't complete in that time, then you're either distracted with external distractions, or you really are unrealistic with your task. So I want you to take a look at that. Organizing digitally is my tip number 7 here. And we've talked about it before, but it really is getting your phone synced, getting your calendar synced, getting your email synced, dealing with things that need to be done that day. So I now highlight my emails. So I will read them. I have a rule now of only touching my emails twice. Once to read it and allocate it. Either it needs to be answered by the end of day 1, the day I read it, or it needs to be answered by the end of the week, and I allocate both of them to that. So I only touch the email twice. How efficient is that? So make sure you're organizing your digital folders, emails, anything that is digital, okay? And my final tip for detoxing your office is to ritualize your workday. So I tend to have the same things at the same time, so I kind of know where I'm at. So when I take a look at my diary, and for me, I'm just grabbing my diary. For me, I tend to like things on the same day. So I have certain times, 8:30 every morning, I do my tick list, right? So I know in my head that I'm probably not going to book anything at 8:30 in the morning because it's always my tick list. And I make sure that is done. Again, I have Pilates on a Tuesday and Thursday at 7 o'clock, so nothing else goes in there. I have my own personal courses that I take myself with Mind Valley. Those are in at 11 until 11:30 every day. So yeah, morning, work, what would be traditional work time for people is that. Because don't forget, I work until, sometimes 9, 10 o'clock at night. So my days are long, but I make sure that they're filled with activities well-rounded that are for myself to get the most productivity out of myself as well. Then I have my full chunks of consultancy days. So on a Wednesday, which is today, this morning is big chunks of deep work for companies, and then in the afternoon I can fit other things in. So that's the way you need to organize your time. So it's like a ritual. You know where you're at automatically. It's like a non-negotiable. You know what you're supposed to be doing. And then other distractions don't come in at that time. It's all for me about avoiding distractions because, my phone pings all the time. It's really easy for me to be distracted, especially now. I've got the builder coming in and asking certain things. I've got Hannah coming back from uni next week. My goodness, I have no idea what that's going to bring because she's probably going to ask me to drive her here, there, and everywhere. But if she sees my diary, then we can get from there. But detoxing your office is absolutely where it's at. So now let's take a look at detoxing your body. Okay, this is you, and this is where everyone is. I want feeling absolutely amazing. Now, when we take a look at the body here, I'm not going to get scientific on you today because I'm just going to give you to-do lists and tick lists that you can add that will really, really help. But these are your major detox areas. We want to detox our blood. We want to keep that running smoothly. Our lymph glands, we have lymph under our arms and in our groin area. So when we're walking, if you're moving your arms a lot, you are detoxing that area. Lymph is the consistency of runny honey. So if you imagine you need to warm it up to get those toxins out of the system. Liver is another area. One of my patients this week, liver damage. I'm trying to first thing I put them on is a full detox, which I'm going to tell you about for his liver. Yeah, it's crazy. You don't want to get to that at that time. Let's be preventative, not reactive, and try to fix a problem. Let's try to prevent the problem from happening in the first place. Gallbladder is another area. Pancreas is another area. Pancreatic cancer is a patient I'm dealing with today. I get it all. But can you understand why I think this is so important, and why I talk about prevention all the time? Because I'm trying to save people's lives outside of other things that I do, because they haven't done that. So my driver for you is to prevent, okay? Kidneys is another big area, and of course our intestines and digestive system. So what can we do? Juicing. I love juicing. Juicing is one thing that can really help. It helps us stock up on our enzymes, which the body in the pancreas has a finite amount of enzymes it's going to release. So you can imagine, the older we get, if you've used them up on crap food and junk food that you've been eating, you're going to have issues with it releasing enzymes for digestion later on. Also, juicing really helps to stock up on our essential nutrients. If you need 67 vitamins and 67 minerals and 8 vitamins a day, and you're eating crisps and ready meals, you're not going to get it. You need to have nutrient dense food. Juices also just boost your vitality. Yeah, they do. The energy you get from them is amazing. I want everyone to have high vitality food. I want you to have the energy to feel absolutely fantastic, 10 out of 10 every morning. Juicing can also help to eliminate toxins. So, there's vegetable juices, there's herbal juices that you can do with ginger and things, and they really, really help. They're great. You get, with the green leafy vegetables, loads of chlorophyll. That's like plant blood. That's the green in the plants that really help to cleanse the digestive system, but also helps to build those blood cells that are fantastic tonic. Now you can use alfalfa, you can use wheatgrass, watercress, any type of green leafy vegetables, spinach. Those are really high in chlorophyll. We can also get our own amino acids here, and amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, and they're vital for digestion and the assimilation of food, and raw juices really help with that. You can also use juicing to help with an acid-alkaline balance. When the body is acidic, because we've had a lot of acidic foods, or even when we're stressed and the body is producing cortisol. Cortisol is acidic on the body, so we want to have alkaline foods. Those are ginger, they're green leafy vegetables, and lots of lemon that's in there as well. Cucumber, celery, all of those. And of course, they can help with your weight as well. And finally, it just tastes great. I love fresh juices. I personally had a juice day on Saturday, and I was just using up all the fruit that in the heat was actually going off. And I was juicing apricots and all the little bits and pieces that I had. I mean, honestly, I just threw it all into one juice, and it was absolutely brilliant. And I just drank that all day and felt supercharged. But let's take a look at celery juicing. Now, celery juicing is a real big fad at the moment, and I am a definite fan of celery juicing. So if you have a juicer, then definitely start to celery juice, because celery juice was made really popular by the medical medium. He's a qualified naturopathic doctor, and I really like all of his podcasts and his books. I have great sort of testimonials from putting my clients through celery juicing. So you want to do celery juicing on its own. Don't mix celery juice with anything else. Celery juice needs to be had on its own once a day in the morning on an empty stomach. This is actually how I break my fast. Okay, so I do, breaking my fast is my breakfast. And so, obviously it's from my evening meal, or if I have an evening snack while I'm watching TV, crudités of vegetables seems to be my favorite. Then I break my fast in the morning, maybe before my breakfast, with a celery juice. So I've had an empty stomach all the way throughout the night. And this is really great because it's super anti-inflammatory. So it really gets that inflammation down and can help with any bloating or IBS symptoms that you might have. And not only that, it's just, I really like the taste. It is a little bit salty and a bit of an acquired taste, but I really like it. It is loaded with magnesium, potassium, and so good to get those extra minerals. And it's also packed with vitamin C to help with your immune system. It is just superb. There are many, many other things that you can do, but I think it is a brilliant way to detox the body and get you on a different road. So another detox that I use is a product that I put my patients on. So, my liver cancer patient and the guy who contacted me today with pancreatic cancer, I'll be putting them first. My first protocol is detox. My first protocol is a product that I recommend called Restorex. And Restorex is a very, very interesting product because it has zeolite. Not many people know about zeolite. Zeolite is a volcanic mineral that is negatively charged. And let me explain that, because when you digest it, it picks up all the bad stuff in the body, yeasts, parasites, heavy metals, and eliminates them, but it leaves the good. So I kind of liken it to, you have a fruit bowl. Your body inside is like a fruit bowl, but you've thrown a lot of candies in there as well. So you have a fruit bowl, but you've got lots of sweets. The zeolite comes along, hovers over the fruit bowl, picks up all the sweets, throws them in the bin, but leaves all the fruit. Okay, so you're not removing any of the good, healthy bacteria in the gut. You are just removing the yeast, the parasites, the flukes, the bacteria, the mold that is in your body. And all of these are associated with toxic bodies and can really alleviate a lot of symptoms of brain fog. It can alleviate the fatigue, because this is a great way. I talked about the plaque on your teeth. You go to the dentist and they chip it off. Zeolite chips it off of your colon. So you're removing the mucoid plaque. You're removing all of that out of the system. No, it's not going to give you diarrhea, if you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. It doesn't work that way, but it does give you bigger bowel movements. So you are eliminating it because it's an acid ash residue you are removing. So your bowel movements are also going to be lighter. And that's a really good sign, okay? And when we're removing all of that from the body, and that mucoid plaque is removed from the colon area, you've detoxed that area, you're going to get better vitamin and mineral absorption into the lining of the colon, into your bloodstream of all the nutrients that you are eating. So, if you don't detox first, how do you expect all the juice nutrients and everything to get through that mucoid plaque, right, on the lining of your colon? You're not going to reach your goal as quickly as possible. The great thing about Restorex is there's only 7 ingredients. So we have the zeolite, we have activated charcoal, which does the same thing. Activated charcoal is what they give patients who have overdosed with alcohol and overdosed with drugs at the hospital. Yeah, they give it to you because they know it is the quickest way to absorb it and get it out of the body. It's the safest way. So this activated charcoal is from a white willow bark. And it really is amazing at trapping the toxins and chemicals in the gut, preventing their absorption any further. And again, it is negatively electrically charged. So you are doing the same thing. You're removing the toxins, but you're not removing the good stuff. And it will also remove gas. the good thing about that. So if you have bloating, this product absorbs the gas, gets rid of it. It's phenomenal. It also has a high dose of chlorella, and chlorella is loaded with B12 and vitamin C, but it's highly alkaline. So you are highly alkalizing the body. Now you're moisturizing everything with the chia seeds, because the chia seeds are very high in omega-3. So you're putting those good oils back into the gut, and you are lining the gut with good oils, moisturizing it, treating it nicely like your skin, okay? And that makes a difference. It also has the ginger in there, and as we know, there are many, many different ways that ginger can help the body and help to detox as well. So if you want some more information on that, just private message me and I will get you that information. So let's have a nice, lovely detox recap. So we have our toxic bodies. We know that our environmental toxins and, not only from chemicals, but actually from the clutter can affect our mind. And we want to remove that and reduce our stress. We want to detox our home from decluttering to removing all chemicals as much as possible. You want to detox, not detox, your office. And to make sure that we are working efficiently and fast and feeling fantastic and making sure that we're making time for our self-care. We want to be doing juicing, making those juice shots in the morning, and we want to be breaking our fast with a celery juice as well. And where possible, if you can do a Restorix, I recommend once a year, only on my birthday every year, I do a Restorix cleanse, because that's the beginning of my year. And I love giving myself my own birthday present of a Restorix every year. And I do it for 2 weeks. I do a scoop in the morning and a scoop at night over a 2-week period. And then I still have some left in the bottle, because if I've eaten a lot of rich food after holidays, then I might do a Restorix cleanse for just 1 week after a holiday, or I might do it before a holiday to get into a bikini. Depends. But that will help. So I want to thank everyone for being on board today. So thank you so much. If you have any questions around anything, I'll take a few questions now. I know we've gone over time a little bit, so I do apologize. But if you have any questions or want some more information, then I can post some things in the group as well. So thank you.
Barbara, I was going to ask, oh, sorry, what's the value of a celery juice over eating celery? Is it purely because the body doesn't have to work so hard to break it down?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, eating celery is fantastic, but you also get sometimes an overload of fiber that's there. What you want to get with the celery juice, and if you have a proper juicer, then you'll get the enzyme action from the juice as well. I can do a whole post about celery juice if you want, and put all the information in there and how you actually do it, because I think it's quite good. I do love celery, but you really want to get a concentrated dose. So with the celery juicing, it's one whole head of celery. I don't think you'd want to munch that every single morning. Yeah, but to juice it, it's just a glass, and you can just whip it down, so you can actually have the goodness.
Sorry.
We have a new fan. We have a new listener.
Oh.
Yeah, no, good question. Dawn, did you have a question?
No, I was just thanking you for the session.
Fantastic. So why don't I post a couple of things? Obviously we'll have the recording of this in there, but I'll put some extra stuff around celery juicing and bits and pieces. So if you have any other questions, just PM me and we'll get those going.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks everybody. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye.